Hello everyone, welcome to ixamBee. Embrace the ixamBee learning experience for 50% faster job preparation. The SEBI Grade A exam is out for this year. The exam is going to happen in another 57 days. That is on the 10th of January 2026. We received a lot of queries related to how you can prepare if you are a working professional. Yes, if you are a working professional, you can prepare for this exam in 57 days if you work in a focused manner. So in this video, I'm going to talk in detail how you should approach the exam pattern, the syllabus, various subjects, and what are the mistakes that you should not do during this time to ensure that you actually reach the final list. Before I start, I want to first say that please watch this video if you are a serious candidate. If not, then this may not be helpful for you because this may be a longish video where I would want to talk in detail about your preparation. So watch it if you are a serious aspirant for SEBI 2025. Let's begin. First important thing, as I stated, there are 57 days left for your preparation and the exam is on the 10th of January. The application window is currently open. It will remain open till the 28th. So in case you are waiting for applying, don't wait till the last date. Please apply on time so that you can prepare with one mind focus. The exam pattern consists of two levels. Phase 1 and phase 2. In phase 1, the paper 1 is your aptitude, which is testing you on 4 subjects: English, quant, reasoning and general awareness. 20 questions each of 1.25 marks will be asked. There will be negative marking. However, the good part to note is there is no sectional cutoff or sectional timing for these 4 subjects. So you can strategize in a manner to choose 2 subjects which you can help you get the minimum cutoff of 30% or from the help of 2 subjects and 1 subject as a backup subject. So you choose from your comfort level depending on your background and the time you can devote for the preparation of that. Paper 2, general, for the general stream, consists of 6 subjects: your commerce and accountancy, management, finance, costing, companies act and economics. This is a common syllabus paper which will be repeated in your phase 2 also. In the phase 2 also the same syllabus will be asked again. So it becomes very, very important that you have conceptual clarity of these topics and you are not just mugging up each and every word of the syllabus, right? The difference will be in phase 1, 50 questions will be asked of 2 marks. In phase 2, 100 questions will be asked of 1 mark each. Does that mean the questions will be easier in phase 2? Not necessarily. They will check your conceptual understanding of the topics in both phases. However, the questions are likely to be easy to moderate in phase 1 and moderate with some level of deep depth understanding topics in phase 2. There is a likelihood of numericals being higher in phase 2. Second, with the increase in number of questions, the topics from the syllabus being asked increases in phase 2. The other paper is the paper 1 in phase 2, which is your descriptive English, testing your descriptive English or your English writing skills. This consists of 3 questions: an essay, an RC and a Prezi, right? The weightage here differs. There's 1/3 weightage of paper 1 and 2/3 of paper 2. So paper 2 remains very, very important for your overall selection. So now from this pattern, you can see there are 3 areas you need to work on: QRE and GA, in which you can choose 2 subjects which can be your very big strength, and then phase paper 2, these 6 subjects. However, there is no determined categorization of how many questions will come. It will be a mix of questions, 50 questions and 100 questions each in the phases respectively. From these, which will be a mix, we will see how we have seen in the past how the distribution of subjects is in this paper. And last is your descriptive English, right? Now let's move ahead how a working professional manage the preparation with their job. Okay, before that, it is very, very important that you understand the syllabus. This syllabus is your Bible for the next few months till your exam, till your Feb exam, you have to ensure that you are aware what is there in your syllabus and the importance of it. The good part is the phase syllabus remains same for both the phases. It consists of commerce and accountancy, where you understand the basics of accounts, followed by certain key accounting standards related to depreciation and fixed assets, which is now termed as PPE. Property, plant and equipment, inventories, revenue recognition, forex transactions and investments. You need to have a good understanding of financial statements, which includes your balance sheet and your P&L account. Here, not just the understanding but also the presentation of that as given under the Schedule 3 of the Companies Act, which is the standard format all the companies have to follow, is also to be understood. In addition to these two financial statements, you also need to study about the cash flow statement and the fund flow statement, and the analysis of all these statements with the help of ratios. The next category is your share transactions, which relates to bonus, rights, ESOPs, and the buyback share of securities. Moving to management, management focuses on as a managerial role, where you study the basics of management, the process and the functions of management, the role of a manager, leadership styles and theories, human resource development, motivation and communication. All these aspects which will help you to carry out your job as a manager at a grade A level as a assistant manager post. Then your finance is the first topic, is the easiest topic, which is talking about the regulatory bodies. We know in the financial sector there are 5 regulatory bodies: RBI, SEBI, IRDA, PFRDA and IFSCA, right? These are the 5 regulatory bodies. An understanding of these, what are their functions, the areas they regulate, and any key updates is what you should be studying over here. Generally a static topic. A lot of, if any questions come from here, they can be very, very scoring. The biggest chunk of your finance comes from the financial markets, which looks small, but actually it has various subparts, including the forex market, money, bond, equity markets. And here the recent developments taking place in these various markets is also important. From the general topics, the bulk of your preparation should go towards the basics of derivatives. Understanding all the 4 types of derivatives, the differences between them, the different terminologies associated with them is what is very, very important. This topic is repeated again, recent developments in financial sector. Okay, so that's why in your paper 1 it is advised that you pick up GA as one of your subjects. Even if you focus on only the financial news under the GA segment, you will be able to score 7-8 marks in the GA section. Plus, you will also be updated about various events which will help you in your finance related questions in paper 2. Other topics include financial inclusion, alternate sources of finance, direct and indirect taxes. You don't need to understand the depth of income tax and GST here, but news based and how they function as a part of the budget, union budget, that means the fiscal policy. That aspect of taxes is enough. Pay attention to Financial Commission and FRBM also, and inflation topic and your fiscal policy topic is also mentioned in your economics, right? So it does not matter where you study, you need to understand the concepts, static concepts of these two and any recent updates related to it. In your phase 2, your union budget will become important because your phase 2 will happen in February. By that time the new budget will also be out. Okay, next is costing. First is understanding the basics of costing, then the various methods of costing and the cost control systems, including standard costing, marginal, budgetary control. Here marginal costing, budgetary control theory is very, very important. Don't miss out on this topic of lean systems because this is a theoretical topic and can be very, very scoring. Right? Companies Act consists of only 7 chapters out of the total 29 chapters that are actually there in Companies Act, and this is another chapter I have talked in previous videos also, is a very important scoring segment. Don't leave this out. This can actually help pull up your marks in your both the phases. Economics is divided into 2 aspects. A mostly relates to the microeconomics and generic macroeconomic theory topics and the concepts, and B is more related to the Indian economy and the macro setup, right? Focus here mostly on demand and supply, market structures, national income, demand and supply of money, ISLM, and inflation and Phillips curve. In this, forex market will be important and monetary and fiscal policy will be important. NBFC as a topic you need to study, where you understand NBFC is more from the investment NBFC's point of view rather than from the banking point of view, right? So this is how your syllabus is there and how you should be focusing around it. Now coming to the fact of if you are a working professional, how should you go about dividing your time, right? In this case, let's understand, even if you are a working professional, your education background could either be that related to finance or not related to finance, or where you are holding an engineering degree or you are an engineer. In finance background also, you could have various combinations. Students who have been studying finance since graduation, including BCom plus MBA finance. Then there could be finance background where you have exposure to finance through MBA finance, but before that you have done engineering or any other degree followed by an MBA finance. Or you have professional degrees like that of a CA, CFA, CS, or a cost accountant. From non-finance or engineering background, you could be an engineering degree holder or law degree holder, or you have done masters apart from MBA finance in any other discipline. So these are the categories of students, and based on that I will suggest how you can approach the syllabus, right? The first, before I move into the syllabus and how students from finance background and engineering background and non-finance background should approach this, the very first rule is to have the correct mindset. What I mean by that is, first you need to understand that you can compete for this exam despite your background, right? Why I'm saying that? Please do not differentiate or judge your ability to pass this exam based on your educational background, because very, very clearly SEBI is not making that differentiation, right? If SEBI was making that differentiation, their eligibility criteria would have been very, very different, right? The whole reason that SEBI is allowing you or asking you to give the exam with certain educational background means all of you are at an equal footing for SEBI. So first thing is, you need to stop believing, or you need to stop thinking that you have an edge or you do not have an edge, you have an advantage or you do not have an advantage, right? You have to clear the exam. That's the only thing that should be troubling you or you should be thinking about. Right now, once this is clear, now let's start what you need to do. Okay, the first thing you can do is identify your strengths and comfort zones and the areas of improvement, right? So for example, if you are from an engineering background, quant and reasoning would be something which is relatively easier or you are in a comfort zone for, right? If you are a CA, CS, maybe accounts is something that is in your comfort zone, not necessarily other subjects. If you have done MBA finance, maybe finance is something that you are in a comfortable zone for. So understand your comfortable zones. Everybody has their comfortable zones depending on their experience, education, background, and ease of understanding the topics. Then also identify the areas of improvement, which ones you need the most. There could be some students who need to know nothing about quant. There could be some students who know nothing about economics. There could be some students who know nothing about Companies Act, right? But after doing that, you should understand the importance. If you know nothing about quant, is it necessary to improve that? Maybe not. If you can manage with English, reasoning, and GM. But if you are not good at Companies Act, can you manage without it? The answer is no. So you need to identify your area of improvement, followed by the importance of improving that area for the purpose of the exam. So everything that I'm speaking is from the purpose of the exam, not generic understanding. If you want to understand quant, go ahead and do that, please. But if you are aiming for the exam right now, that is what your focus should be. Now, the second thing is you need to dedicate 4 hours on a daily basis. Try to take this time out either before going to your job in the morning or coming back after your job, after having your dinner. Sit down, whatever time is suitable to you, but try and take out at least 4 hours on a daily basis. Plus, complement it with 8 to 9 hours on the weekends, right? Then the key lies in being consistent. The key does not lie in the quantity of time that you spend. It's not this quantity of time that you are spending, but how consistently can you go on? Because progress will happen step by step. If you study today, you cannot expect to ace the exam tomorrow. But 57 days of consistent efforts will definitely make you reach where you want to. Okay, do not waste time in double checking the content all the time. This is a tendency. We read from there, then we try to find another book or Google or ChatGPT or any other source, and we keep checking from various sources. It wastes time. Plus, it also reduces your confidence in your own preparation. So do not do that. Stick to the sources that you choose and then follow them and prepare and practice in a consistent manner. Now, if you are from the finance background, this is how you can approach. I have mentioned this week-wise because daily, how much time you are giving will vary. In week 1, once you have identified which area you can go with, if it is only English and general awareness, you can stick with that and only focus on few topics of quant and reasoning. We have also done separate strategy videos for quant and reasoning to help you identify which ones you can focus on if you are only choosing with one subject, going with one of these subjects. Based on that, you study certain concepts just to understand which topics you are going for. It could be DI, it could be percentages, it could be arithmetic. You choose certain topics and based on that you go and clarify your concepts related to them in the first phase. If you need more clarification, you can continue for the second week. After that, you start focusing only on the practice of the quant reasoning from 4th week onwards, right? You can do that. And this is first I'm talking about the paper 1. Why I have included GA every week, as I stated, while paper 1 you may not need to depend on GA 100%, but I still advise that even if you follow the weekly compilation of GA, we provide that Bpedia. It's also freely available on our website. You can follow it weekly for only 4 segments of news which are finance related, which is the banking, financial markets, national and international news. Even if you follow this, you will be able to do questions, 5-6 questions, even more for sure in paper 1, and it will also keep you updated for the finance aspect in paper 2. That's why we advise that keep following GA, don't cut it out 100%, right? So even if you follow weekly Bpedia and the weekly economics and finance news that we publish, that will be more than enough. Keep practicing the MCQs on a weekly basis. Start practicing your mock test from the 5th week for paper 1 and keep doing it for the remaining 4 weeks with whatever practice and understanding you have. Keep doing your analysis of the mock test also. You can do 2 mock tests every week, okay, for the paper 1. Coming to paper 2, finance background students, because would have some understanding of the accounts topics, even costing topics, it is better you start with the economics subject. In economics, you can focus to complete part A of the syllabus. Here, focus on studying to build your conceptual clarity. In this, which I already stated, your demand and supply and your market structures and your ISLM and national income. These are the most important concepts for you to cover in part A. In case you want to, you finding it difficult, at least cover these, and the remaining you can do at the phase 2 stage also. Then in the next week, cover your part B syllabus. Again, build your conceptual clarity. Having spent time on these two, because these would be relatively more time taking for you given your background, move on to commerce and accountancy, where you focus on revising a lot of topics which you are already aware about, like the accounting basics, accounting standards, your financial statements, which is there in C and F, right? After that, pick up costing. Again, focus on revising the topics of costing, including the overview, methods, and the control systems. Fifth week, dedicate to Companies Act. Cover the entire syllabus. I have stated before in various videos, Companies Act and management is something that you can cover in 30 to 40 hours easily, right? Very easily. Many even end up completing it in less than this time, and then focus only on revision, right? Apart from this, you can also, because it takes relatively less time, you can club the remaining two topics of commerce and accountancy with this, which basically relate to share transactions, because this is something, share transactions, you would not have done in detail if you have only done MBA finance, right? So that is something you can pick it up. If you have done CACS types of degree, this is something you may have gone through. So you can revise these. Another point, the share transactions related rights, bonus, ESOPs, and your buyback rules and regulations are actually a part of Companies Act. So a lot of it will also get covered when you are studying Companies Act. So clubbing them together saves your time and increases your understanding of this topics. Next week should be spent on management and the remaining topic of costing, which is the lean system. This entire week will then be theoretical. So if you are quick in doing this, you may not need the entire week, and therefore in that case, students can even start doing mock tests from this particular week. If not, if you do end up taking time, or if you take more time in any of these topics, bring it in this and cover and finish it by the 6th week. 7th and 8th would be mostly focusing on your revision, practice, revision, practice, revision, practice. That is the most important thing, apart from covering the finance syllabus. A lot of your finance syllabus will get covered when you're also studying economics in depth. So you can combine some of the topics of economics and finance here also, given your comfort level with the topics, right? So that choice you will have to make depending on your own comfort and background. So this is for working professionals with a finance background. Now moving to working professionals with a non-finance background. Here, day one, you can start with practice of either quant or reasoning, again depending on which are you the one you are going for. Again, English also, if you want to clear certain concepts, clear them, then move on to practice as quickly as possible, and continue to follow the GA every week, as I suggested for the finance candidates also. Paper 1 mock test should start from week 5. 2 to 3 every week is what you should aim to do. For paper 2, start with commerce and accountancy. I know this is a subject that you are most afraid of. Start with that. However, I am giving you a limitation, complete it in 1 week. This is where you need to be focused. For you, topic A is very, very, very important because you're studying it first time. This makes your phase and the foundation. Once that is in place, following C and F, which is the financial statements and the ratio analysis, which are the most frequently asked topics, is what is going to help you. So focus that and give enough time in a week. Do not panic. This is sufficient time for you to cover these topics. Follow it by management, which is a simple topic, along with costing, lean systems. Lean systems is something, if you are an engineer, you would already be aware, and you may hardly take a few hours to go through it. Management, similarly, 30 to 40 hours, you will be very, very comfortably able to do that. Maybe you take even less. In that case, make notes for only the key theory aspects that you need to remember. Rest, try to understand so that you are able to solve common sense type of or everyday type of use of questions from management. You may even end up spending less time here. In that case, you can start earlier finance. If not, then start finance in the third week. Do topic 2 and 3A first, which is going to be the most time consuming and the most important aspects, that is the financial markets and the derivatives. If you are able to complete that timely, you also cover the costing topic 1, which is just an overview, theoretical overview of what costing means and the various important definitions in costing. After that, move on to economics part B, which is relatively easier to grasp and understand, and then move on to finance topics 1 and 3E and 3F, which again tend to take lesser time. After that, in week 5, pick up part A of the syllabus. Do selectively, as I told, demand and supply, market structures, ISLM. These are the most critical, and national income, most critical. If you have time, if you are finding it interesting, go ahead and complete it. Otherwise, do selectively. Companies Act, do everything. It's not very big syllabus. Again, you can do it in 30 to 40 hours. The key is in revision. Companies Act is not difficult. The key is how well you can revise so that you remember things. And the last week and 6th week, spend on the remaining topics of commerce and accountancy. You can also, if you start feeling comfortable till 5th 5, you can start doing 1 or 2 mock tests in this week also. If not, spend the remaining 2 weeks majorly on revision and mock tests, right? So this is how you can go ahead. If you need more details, you can reach out to us. We do provide exclusive courses where individually we talk to the students and try to help them chalk out their strategy on a day-to-day basis. Before I move on, before I end, I would also like to highlight some of the mistakes that you need to avoid during your preparation stage. First is giving too much time and importance to few subjects. This is a tendency I have noticed I have been guiding for this exam since 2018. Having seen a lot of students, helping a lot of students, and this is one mistake I see them make again and again and again. That is focusing on few subjects only. I have seen, if you are an engineering student, you end up spending 60% to 70% of your time to ace commerce and accountancy, because that is something you are studying for the first time. So you are scared and you spend so much time to grasp it. Okay, if you are from a finance background, you neglect these, or you keep thinking that this is something I know, costing is something I know. So either you end up practicing only on your strengths, or again you end up spending a lot of time in acing economics, right? So this is of course generic. I'm not saying that everybody does that, but I have seen a lot of students make that mistake. Please understand, you cannot do that. Why? If you see the exam pattern, I am only taking example of 24. However, this holds true for the exams happening on this particular syllabus since 2020. There is a very, very equitable, almost equitable spread of all the subjects, right? We see 7 to 8 questions come in phase 1 from each of these topics. And if I take combination of 2 subjects, they have a 1/3 weightage. Commerce and accountancy around 1/3. Companies Act and management around 1/3. Finance and economics around 1/3. You can pick up any year and you will notice that 1/3 weightage is being given in these 2 combination subjects. So focusing your energy on only few aspects will not help you get the best score, right? And we understand this very, very well at ixamBee. We have faculties specializing and being an expert for each of the subjects and not just one. We have CA Neha ma'am, who focuses on commerce and accountancy and costing. Myself, Prachi Agarwal, where I focus on Management, Companies Act, and a few subjects of finance. Dr. Sanjeev Sharma, who focuses on descriptive English for your phase 2. Sushil sir, focusing on finance and economic topics, macroeconomic and Indian economic topics. Chandra Prakash Joshi sir, focusing on finance, financial markets. Tushar sir, focusing on GA and certain parts of your economics part A topics. Neha ma'am, quant expert. Ashwini and Akansha ma'am, reasoning expert, and Anjali ma'am, your English expert. So you get guidance from the expert for every subject, so that every subject gets its due share and respect and your time of preparation. So it is very important that whatever you choose, do not miss out on all the subjects. Second is ignoring exam pattern and the exam level preparation. Students miss out to check PYPs, previous year papers, how the pattern of the exam is, what are the topics that are always asked, what are the topics which are rarely asked, which are the topics which are asked out of the syllabus, and should you pay attention to them or not. So not just PYPs, but also the frequency to understand that, so that you can follow the 80-20 rule. 80-20 rule is where do you put the effort that leads to 80% of the result. 20% effort that leads to 80% of the result is very, very important to identify. And with limited time for a working professional, this becomes even more important. Then second is practicing exam level. Always practicing higher level or more difficult mocks does not mean it prepares you better, right? You need to prepare at the exam level, so that when you face the exam, you are not just prepared for your exam, but you're also mentally prepared to take that exam, right? So right level of motivation is needed when you are doing mocks. And do not study like a school or college exam. What that means is, don't aim for 100 marks. Aim for the marks that are necessary to take you to the next level and to the final list. That is what is important, right? So next mistake, overloading on resources. This is human nature. We all do it. A lot of students do it a lot. That is accumulating resources, hundreds of resources, thinking everything is best, and if I have all the best resources, I will do the best. The key lies in using the resources and not accumulating them. And if you keep doing the same thing from multiple resources, one, you are wasting the most important resource, that is time. Second, as I stated before, you will always doubt your preparation, because every resource may add one extra information, but is that extra information worth your time? Is that extra information required for the exam? That is the risk that you are taking. So do not keep cross-checking content from different places. Do not keep studying the same thing from different sources. Repeating topics from different sources for the same area that you are comfortable with will only lead to reduced efficiency. And also, do not study all the books from cover to cover for each subject and each subtopic of the subject. Again, it is very, very time consuming, and it will also burn you out with your job if you spend so much excess hours in just accumulating and reading from various resources. Next mistake is ignoring the mindset game. A competitive exam is as much as about your preparation as much it is about the mindset. If you are worrying about less time available till the exam, that 50 days, 57 days, 40 days, 30 days are left, what should I do? The key is, as I said, you remain consistent. Whatever the days are, today it is 57. It will keep reducing if you keep worrying. Impatience for progress. You study today, you get 100 marks tomorrow. That is not how it works. You have to be ready, give yourself time to progress day by day. You will see the results, right? And therefore, following that weekly pattern will help you stay focused on your time limits, and you will also see progress in your mock test. Second, self-doubting and comparing with others. Chalk your own journey. You have your own time, you have your own resources, you have your own skill sets. Focus on that. If you start comparing, you will always feel left out. And last, incorrect use of mock test and practice test. What is it? What it means is, one, you use it only as a testing tool, but no, you have to use your mock test and practice test not just as a testing tool but also a learning tool. That means you need to spend time in analysis, understand the areas you are making mistakes, understand the areas you are good at. What you are good at, you need to revise. What you are weak at, that you need to redo and relearn conceptually. And therefore, and whatever extra information you get in the mock test, learn from there rather than again finding new sources to learn that topic. Second is keeping practice for last week before the exam. If you do that only before the last week, like I stated, paper 1 start mock test from 5th week. Paper 2, you can start from the 6th week itself. In some cases, if not, if you are taking a little time to cover up the syllabus, start from 7th. However, that does not mean you cannot practice. Practice section test, practice chapter test even earlier when you are doing the syllabus. So keep practicing, otherwise in the end you will not be able to learn from the mock test and understand the analysis and not understand how you are progressing. So you have to spread it out much before the actual exam. And most critical mistake that students make is skipping revision. Please remember, just mugging up, like I stated, for Management and Companies Act, you can cover in 30 to 40 hours. That does not mean that's it, your preparation is done. You need to revise, otherwise you will not remember. And this is a fact. Without spaced repetition, 70% of what you learn will be forgotten in a week, right? Therefore, practicing questions on a regular basis, revising with the help of your notes, revision notes, you can keep your what you have learned in your memory, right? For this, we make revision booklets and MCQ booklets so that you can revise in a comfortable manner. Our pedagogy therefore consists of recorded video lessons, study notes, summary notes, revision notes, MCQ booklets for you to practice, and these practice also available on the online format for concept sections, test and mock test. We also do classes, but for working professionals, the entire content is available with a mix of all these things, and they can complement their practice and their preparation with the help of live classes. So it is not that we are teaching only in live classes and you cannot prepare given your time constraints. You can very well prepare with the course, keeping all your time constraints and your studying time into account. So the course is structured in a manner to help both the working professionals and full-time students who are preparing for these exams. If you need any other information, you can connect with us. ixamBee is very proud to have the highest selections in SEBI, not just in the general stream, but also in legal and IT. We also provide guidance for the research stream and the Rajbhasha stream. You can check out the details on our website or our app, or if you have any query, you can call us at 920-552-4028 or write to us at hello@ixamBee.com. I hope this video has helped you give a clear direction to your preparation. Wishing you all the best.